Hey, it's me, MLB. This is the Top Delinquent Chapter 18, and this one is titled Save Me. Another warning for this chapter, there is violence mentioned. I'm going to cut out a certain scene because it's definitely not appropriate for YouTube, but it may still be a trigger in this chapter, so just listen with caution, and if it's too much, then stop.
Go away,
You said in a low, shaky voice.
we're done. Over. Finished.
Oh, no, we're not. He snarled with a malicious smile as he stalked over to you and lifted his leg, kicking you firmly in the side of the head. We're only through when I say we're through. His kick was perfectly placed, and you were knocked out cold the minute his shoe connected with you. He grunted as you collapsed sideways and sprawled out unconscious on the floor. Taking her when she's out's no fun. Guess I'll just have to wait till she comes to again, he muttered to himself. Outside, in another room nearby, he could hear the muffled screams of your friend. I'll go and have fun with your bestie, and then come back and have fun with you, he said to you as he gathered a spitball in his mouth and hucked it at the side of your head. You weren't sure how long you were out for, but when you finally did come to, you tasted blood in your mouth and couldn't see properly because of the throbbing headache. You moaned with pain, wincing as you tried to sit up. DF, you suddenly thought. You listened and could hear her begging for someone to stop, while you heard a cruel laughter from two males. One laugh you recognised well. They'd better not have done anything to her, you seethed internally as you dragged yourself to your feet and stumbled towards the door. I'll frickin' kick his balls up into his throat if he so much as touched her. You stumbled out into the main lounge and looked around. The whimpers were coming from another room. Leave her alone! You hollered, making your way towards the room's doorway. Oh? She's awake now, is she? You heard DH comment slyly. I'll leave it to you, man, he added to his best friend as he got off the mattress. I'll wait till you're balls deep and then I'll follow suit with this one, you heard his best friend say. Don't friggin' touch her! You screamed, fear and anger fighting for dominance in your cry. I won't touch her, because I'll be touching you, DH said in a snarky tone as he walked out of the room and reached out quickly to grab you by the hair. You winced as his fingers knotted into your scalp, but the sad truth was that this wasn't the first time that you'd ever been grabbed by the hair and thrown to the ground. Only this time, there wasn't the stench of alcohol. DH threw you off balance by your hair, and you stumbled back and hit the ground with a thud, arms painfully tucked in behind you as they remained bound by the cloth tie. Your ex wasted no time in ripping the clothes off your lower half, despite your kicking and screaming, shouting every threat under the sun while he remained focused. Your pants and underwear were quickly discarded, and his pants were taken off too. Just then the door burst open, and someone barreled through, nailing DH and knocking him flying. You burst into tears and quickly closed your legs, now that the assailant had been removed from between them. Through your tear-blurred eyes, you made out the back of a very familiar figure.
Iida!
You shouted through sobs.
DF! Save DF! She's in the other room!
Iida heard your voice and stopped punching DH long enough to get up and race into the other room. There was a heavy scuffle and suddenly DF came stumbling out of the room, naked from the waist down.
DF!
You cried. She bawled, tears streaming down her face as she ran over to you and hugged you before getting around behind you to try and get the ties off your wrists.
I can't get them off!
She wailed, crying into your back while you sobbed. Iida appeared again, breathing heavily and bloodied from where someone had scratched his cheek.
Iida!
You cried.
I can't get out of this! She's tied up!
DF sobbed. Iida didn't say anything as he looked around and spotted your pants and underwear, picking them up quickly and walking over to you before taking off his jumper and laying it across your lap. DF, your attacker is unconscious, as is DH, he said as he gestured to the knocked-out pile of poo in the corner of the room. You are safe to retrieve your clothes, he said to DF.
Sorry.
DF mumble sobbed, quickly covering her privates with her hands. Please, do not apologise, Iida said softly. I should be the one apologising. DF quickly ran back to the room and pulled her pants on, while Iida looked for something to cut you free with. He found a shard of glass in the kitchen, presumably from the broken kitchen window, and brought it back into the room to cut you free, which he managed to do with a degree of difficulty. Once your hands were free, you quickly placed them over your lap, embarrassed that you were naked under his jumper. Unable to speak, you just sobbed again. Iida gently coaxed you to put your clothes back on while he turned his back to you, and after you had dressed, he picked you up bridal style and held you against his torso. Yin, I swear to you, I will never let this happen again. No one will ever touch you again, he said in a soft yet stern voice. You turned and buried your face into his chest, sobbing as you clung into his shirt. Sorry, it was a little bit shorter, but I just had to cut that little section out. I'm pretty sure you knew what happened. Anyway, stay tuned for chapter 19, coming tomorrow.